How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Bitcoin is at fire sale levels. It's extremely cheap when you look at a certain chart. Also, the US government is about to sell Bitcoin. I want to talk about that and why it's really not going to be any big deal. It's kind of overblown. We have someone that's selling 100 times that amount, if not more, actually 200 times that amount recently. So we're going to go through that, talk about a conspiracy that I kind of am starting to lean towards with the US government as well. If you don't mind, hit subscribe. Turn on the bell notification underneath the video to see future videos just like this one as soon as I make them. There's also a link down there to HGAccess. I know I talk about it a lot, but that's because I think it's a great product. I think it's a great Patreon. As you can see here, Tyler talked about this small cryptocurrency. He did say it's high risk, but it was a meme coin on Solana at 0.0068. And now, today, it's at 0.017, up 160% on the day. So if you want access to gains like this, you can check out the link underneath the video to HGAccess. We've had so many people sign up, even over the last couple of weeks when the market's been down. We've had a lot of people sign up because we're still making tons of money in there on some of these plays. There's also a link down there to Margex as well. In case you want to trade cryptocurrencies on leverage, you can sign up with the link underneath the video. You can deposit within 5 minutes or less because it's so easy to sign up. There's no KYC, meaning there's no know your customer, which is something that causes you to put in a lot of information. All you have to do is put in an email, a password, check their terms and conditions, and then you can sign up for your account. And you get a 20% bonus that can go towards some of your fees as well. As always, make sure that you are comfortable with leverage. Make sure you know what you're doing. This is a small part of what I do with my portfolio, but I do think it can be used really well in a bull market, which I think we are heading, if not already slightly, into a bull market. Because even though we're seeing a little bit of a pullback here today or over the last couple of weeks, this is normal. We went up 100% within a couple months. So it's normal to see a pullback here. And the amount of selling pressure, it's just nuts. It's amazing that we are still as high as we are. I mean, take a look at this. The U.S. files notice to sell $130 million worth of Bitcoin seized from the Silk Road agent. Now, this might scare some people. They might see and think, oh my gosh, 130 million. This is nothing. What we've seen from GBTC is massive amounts of selling. We're talking about billions and billions of dollars over the last couple weeks, but even bigger than that. This is something that I don't see enough people talk about. The miners are selling much more than GBTC. It's not even close. In 2 days, they're selling what Grayscale has sold in 2 weeks. Let me take a look at this. This big drawdown that we had from 46,000 down to 43,000 on Bitcoin, the miners sold 61,000 Bitcoin. At least that was what flew out of their wallets into exchanges. That causes a lot of selling pressure. They're not putting it on an exchange because they can't hold it on their own wallets. They're putting it on an exchange because they're selling it. So I tallied up all this information, even just 2 days ago. We don't have the newest day's information, but 2 days ago, they sold 56,000 Bitcoin. I mean, it's amazing that we're not going down further from here. I calculated it just a few days ago, and I had seen they sold about 25% of the overall miner bags. They sold 500,000 Bitcoin, and that was before these last few days. So they've probably sold, if I had to guess now, 650,000 Bitcoin. Now, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't call that a minor outflow. I call that a major outflow. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. I thought of that earlier. I shouldn't have said that, but this is just so much selling pressure. I mean, we're talking about literally 600,000, 700,000 Bitcoin being absorbed in a few weeks. And that's not even including some of this other stuff, obviously, like the US government and also GBTC. So just massive selling. That tells you though, like, yeah, so we fell down, but Bitcoin's price has been right around this level for the last, 4 or 5 days. And we've still seen massive outflows from miners. Someone is buying. Like, there are people accumulating because Bitcoin's price has just been pretty much stagnant the last 4 or 5 days. Maybe down a little bit here or there. But there's still hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin that have been sold by major entities. And they're doing this to shore up cash. This isn't going to continue forever. Now, what's so interesting to me, too, in this whole saga is that the U.S. is selling Bitcoin. I think a lot of people think that they're doing this because they don't like Bitcoin or something like that. I honestly think this 130 million that they are going to sell probably doesn't even equate to how much they've gained over the last couple months. I bet you they've gained more than 130 million dollars in Bitcoin. The reason for that is we have other countries that are mining Bitcoin, like El Salvador built a 1 billion or is going to build a $1 billion Bitcoin mining farm, and that's a lot of Bitcoin miners. We know Bhutan is also building Bitcoin mining operations. Take a look at this. I mean, this is all miners. They're becoming a carbon neutral hub for crypto mining. I think they said that they had like 30,000, maybe 30,000 miners somewhere in here. Could be wrong on that, but they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on this as well. We also have heard Russia is working with BitRiver. So BitRiver, one of Russia's largest mining companies, previously partnered with a state-affiliated company, Gazpromneft. It's an oil company. The central bank plan includes creation of a special organization that will be charged with mining crypto and processing payments for cross-border trade deals. This had come out months ago, almost 9 months ago, that Russia was planning to mine crypto for cross-border deals, that they were going to settle in crypto. Who knows if that's actually going to happen? But I honestly think the government probably mines Bitcoin. I know that's probably a bit of a conspiracy theory. Some people will say, no, they definitely mine Bitcoin. Some people are saying, no way they're mining Bitcoin. But if other countries, including your competitors, are mining Bitcoin, I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere they own some company, they took over a company, or they start a little project to build Bitcoin mining. That's also not crazy to think about because U.S. city governments have already mined Bitcoin. This was a 6-month pilot program launched August 26, 2022, and it netted $1,000. This is over in Texas. Doesn't really matter. Like, they had a couple miners here. You can see just a couple miners. They made $1,000. It doesn't matter. But there are things like this happening that we can see. So I'm guessing there's a lot more. It's kind of like an iceberg, right? You can see a little bit of it, but most of it's under the surface. We also know that the government holds a lot of Bitcoin, as you can see here. Like, we know they hold hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin. Not be surprised if they hold even more. And some people would say, well, that's not a good thing, that it's centralized or that a government entity owns it. Guys, whales and government entities are going to own the most scarce asset in the world, whether they own it now or when it goes up to, let's say Bitcoin's at $5 trillion market cap. It doesn't matter for some of these wealthy governments. Like, the US can literally print money to go buy Bitcoin specifically. So it doesn't matter the price really, unless it's at $100 million a coin or something like that, or maybe $50 million a coin. It doesn't matter. They can print money and literally just go buy the assets out of your hands, because eventually most people will sell at a certain price. It also means that they can unload some Bitcoin too, but what's the point? It's like if you're a really wealthy individual and you hold, I don't know, $100 iPod from 20 years ago, right? Like, they're classics. You can sell them for a little bit of money. But if you're worth $10 million, are you really going to go sell that? No, you're not going to sell it. You're just going to throw it in a drawer, tell your kid that they can have it, or your grandkid or something like that, or just throw it out. They're not actually going to go and take the time. Now, sometimes they might do that just to make a point, right? They might sell a little bit of Bitcoin here or there. But if they're really using it as a hedge against their own currency, it wouldn't really make sense to do anything besides sell a little bit just to show that they can sell it, that they're willing to sell it, or to scare the market to buy more, right? Maybe BlackRock's in there saying, yeah, sell a little bit of that Bitcoin. Keep in mind, they said they were going to sell billions of dollars of Bitcoin last year, and they never did. I think they sold a tiny bit, but they said that they're going to sell a lot more. So it's just interesting to watch. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video, though. It is interesting to see what governments are doing, and I think we're going to get a lot more news about this when Bitcoin's racing up, when more money supply is hitting and there's more inflation. I mean, heck, is it Argentina that's had over 100-something% inflation rates? And this is when the governments around the world aren't really quantitative easing, they're quantitative tightening, at least the US is. So imagine when we get back to growth times. It's crazy to think about. Keep in mind too, Bitcoin right now or the whole market, I guess, is in neutral, like 50. It's not greedy, it's not fearful. This is typically a good time to buy Bitcoin. If you just look at this, this is the rainbow chart, basically just showing the extreme nature of Bitcoin. When it goes up against the red, that's probably a good time to sell. When it goes down against the blue, it's a good time to buy. And we are back in the fire sale category, the fire sale lane. So it's typically a good time to be buying. As you can see, we've been here a lot over the last couple of years. Even when we move up, we're still in this cheaper side, but then we start moving back up. And yeah, you want to be looking at taking profits. Let me know your thoughts about this underneath the video. Again, you can check out Margex, you can check out HGAccess. I appreciate it. I will see you in the next video.